physical sciences. Even today it is so dazzling. So a doubt comes in our mind, this entity called God, is it really existing or is it just an imagination, a figment of human imagination? This question can come to anybody's mind, especially young generation. You will see, even present-day young generation, this thought troubles, it haunts many people whom with I interact. I see it. There is a doubt in the mind of the people, especially young generation, introduced to modern science. This doubt troubles them. Does God really exist? Or is it something just sentimentally we do on the surface? Just a superstition, just something, what should I say, imaginary, superstitious? This is the big question. It is this scenario that this great spiritual phenomenon comes in the midst of you and me. Yesterday, if you remember, I spoke about, these great spiritual phenomena, they come in your midst and my midst. They live between us and we fail to recognize them. They come and they initiate a new wave of spirituality which slowly, in course of time, engulfs the entire humanity. It takes time. It is happening. It is happening. If my life, your life is spiritually touched, if today we have started to walk on the spiritual path, it is owing to that stimulation which this great personality has given to spirituality in the 19th century. There's a famous statement by some great thinker, no one can read the life of Sri Ramakrishna without coming to the conclusion and conviction that God alone is true and everything else is illusory. How true this point is. No one can read Sri Ramakrishna's life without coming to the conclusion that God alone is the reality. Everything else apart from God is illusory. Now, if you look into Sri Ramakrishna's gospel, definitely all of you have read Sri Ramakrishna's Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna's teachings. In every other second page of Sri Ramakrishna's Gospel, you will find this idea repeated, hammered, literally hammered, repeated. And what is the idea? God alone is real and the world is illusory. God alone is real and everything else is illusory. God alone is real and everything else is illusory. And Sri Ramakrishna was the living embodiment of what he was speaking. He knew nothing but God and God alone. See, we are talking about a phenomenon. It is looking at this personality. Our faith in God gets awakened. If this personality had not come, we don't know whether we would have been sitting in this room at all. It's a big question. In the modern times, if we have developed some bhakti, some taste for this higher entity called God, it is owing to a divine being who came in the 19th century and he has stimulated this spiritual force which is working in you and in me in the modern times. This is how Dharma Sansthabana takes place, by awakening the spiritual consciousness of the people everywhere. Now you all know that, in Sri Ramakrishna's life, Sri Ramakrishna's teachings were recorded by Sri Mahendranath Gupta, is it not? Mahendranath Gupta, who was known as Master Mahashay. He's also known as M. So this Master Mahashay, let me tell you an episode from his life to understand the significance of Sri Ramakrishna's advent. This Master Mahashay, you all know, just like any other family man, he was a householder, he had wife and children, and he was so much troubled by domestic family problems, unending family problems, which we'll know that is the very nature of this world. Anityam, asukham, imam lokam, prapya bhajasvamam, dukkhalayam, ashashvatam. This world is dukkhalayam. It is the alayam. It is the very abode of dukkham. It is anityam. It is transient. It is asukham. There is no sukham here. These are the great utterances of Bhagavan Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. So, this Master Mahashay, Mahendranath Gupta, he was totally submerged in endless domestic family problems, and the problems became so severe that a time came in his life he was thinking of committing suicide. That is the story. This Master Mahashay was thinking to commit suicide, to put an end to life. See, problems will come in life, endless problems. And sometimes these problems push the human being to the wall and even make that person contemplate about putting an end to his or her life, which is so common. And nothing would be more foolish than this step, that putting an end to human life. Only a person who doesn't understand the importance of this human birth, only that person will foolishly commit this step. This human birth is the rarest thing and the most difficult thing to attain, which our Shastras talk about. We don't understand the value of this human body itself. Shankaracharya says, birth in this human body itself is the rarest and the most difficult thing to happen. Jantunam narajanma durlabham. That's the term. Narajanma durlabham is the word. Durlabham. It's very difficult to attain. It's not that easy. Anyhow, this Master Mahashay, pushed by the indescribable, unbearable miseries of day-to-day life, he was contemplating to put an end to his life. And literally he had stepped out of his house and he was going to take this step of putting an end to his life. Now interestingly, this is the play of Divine Mother. On the way, he meets one of his friends. And that friend says, hey, come, where are you going? Let us just go to Dakshineshwar. See, that Kali temple. Dakshineshwar Kali temple is there. Come on, let's go there. And somehow, Master Mahashay just followed him. Master Mahashay had stepped out of his house to commit suicide. On the way, he comes across another person who was his friend. And the friend says, you come with me. Come on, let's go to the Kali temple. And they landed up in Dakshineshwar Kali temple. Now that's, anyone. Most of you might have visited that place. One of the beautiful forms of Divine Mother. Amazing. That Bhavatarani Kali. Indescribable. That Divine Mother. And the place where Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual Leela had enacted. A major portion of his spiritual Leela had enacted in this Dakshineshwar, in the premises of this Divine Mother's temple. It's one of the finest chapters in spiritual history. That relationship between Sri Ramakrishna and Divine Mother. What words can describe that? What words can describe that? No words can describe that. It gives horripilation when you think about the interaction between Sri Ramakrishna and all his sadhanas there. Amazing. Now, this Master Mahashay and his friend, they land up in the premises of Dakshineshwar Kali temple. And somehow they land up in the room of this mad Brahmin called Sri Ramakrishna. This mad Brahmin was sitting on a cot and some devotees are sitting down there. And Sri Ramakrishna is talking to them. He's in his semi-conscious state. Literally, Ardha Bhaya Dashaha. In Sanskrit, the term is Ardha Bhaya Dashaha. In a semi-conscious state. He's only partially aware about the external world. His consciousness is completely in that supreme reality. Just imagine, this is what I said. No one can read Sri Ramakrishna's life without being convinced that God alone is real and everything else is illusory. What Shankaracharyas keep on echoing, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Brahman, God alone is true. Everything else is illusory. Sri Ramakrishna was the very blazing embodiment of this phenomenon. Anyhow, both of them, they land up in Sri Ramakrishna's room. And Sri Ramakrishna is sitting on the cot. And he's talking to the devotees there. In a semi-conscious state, he is talking about that divine reality, all his words. The words, who is speaking, it is literally God who is speaking. Where is Sri Ramakrishna there? It is literally the word of God. He is talking about all wonderful things about God. And Master Mahashay looks at Sri Ramakrishna and he is transformed. The first few words which he listens, which falls out of Sri Ramakrishna's mouth, that what? I'll tell it in Bengali. Bengali says, Manushya janmer ek matro uddesho Ishwar labh. What he says? The only purpose of being born in this human body is what? To experience that supreme reality called God. Manushya janmer ek matro uddesho. Ekmatra means the only purpose of being born in this human body is what? To experience that divine entity called God. Having been born in this human body, if we are not channelizing our energies in this direction, nothing can be more unfortunate than that. Sri Ramakrishna's words, the only purpose of being born in this human body is to experience God and God alone. Now see, Master Mahashay was going to commit suicide. Now see, this is very, very important and relevant in your life and my life. Today you will find any number of people totally crushed under the weight of worldly misery and suffering. They do contemplate, they do think about putting an end to their lives. This is what I said, nothing can be more foolish than this step. This human life is meant for, it has got a great meaning, great purpose. What brings meaning to human life is this one pursuit of realizing, experiencing God. This is what actually makes our every moment, every breath that we are breathing. See, we are breathing, we are alive. Every breath that we are breathing, it becomes meaningful when our mind is directed towards that and that alone. On this side, it is all empty. On this side, on the side of the senses, it is all emptiness. It is only when we go inside, the real stuff is realized, and it is there inside you. No matter what happens on the surface, your mind may say 100 different things. The real stuff is already there. So ultimately, you see, there is nothing under the sun that can make you or force you to contemplate a heinous act like committing suicide. Life is always extremely precious. It is meaningful. And what is the meaning of human life? The only meaning and purpose of human life is to realize God. Without that, it has got no meaning at all. This is what? A life-transforming kind of an interaction, or the first vision of Sri Ramakrishna, which Master Mahashay, when he went and saw Sri Ramakrishna and heard these few words, it transformed his life. He understood life has got great meaning. No matter how much suffering may be there in life, we can come out of it. This is the biggest lesson to learn in life. So beautiful. And then he keeps on visiting Sri Ramakrishna repeatedly in the next few days, and we know that. I'm not going into that. Now, if you look into Sri Ramakrishna's teachings, let us go into Sri Ramakrishna's teachings. What do we find in his teachings? Every other page, the only purpose of human life is to realize God, number one. God alone is real and everything else is illusory, number two. And the only obstacle on the path of realizing God is what? He puts it in two terms, Kama and Kanchana. Kama and Kanchana. Kama and Kanchana. It literally means lust and greed. Lust and greed. Lust and greed, these are the two things which actually keeps us bound in this sensory plane. It will never allow us to rise, go beyond the world of senses and realize our own true nature. It will never happen. So in these three sentences, Sri Ramakrishna sums up everything that the Upanishads have to say. These are all the teachings of the Upanishads. What are the main things? God alone is true. Everything else is illusory. To realize God alone is the main purpose of human life. And the only obstacle on the path to self-realization is what? Lust and greed. As long as we are drowned in the lust and greed, these two factors, no one will be able to understand what one's true nature is. This is the central teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. He is echoing. You see, Dharma Sanstapana is taking place. Humanity had forgotten the importance of this dimension, this divine dimension. This great person comes with a big bang, and he makes the world understand the importance of this dimension which is hidden inside each one of us, the dimension of divinity. Without realizing this, no one can be happy in life. You can have money, you can have pleasures, you can have everything, but happiness and fulfillment is never going to come as long as we don't come in touch with this dimension of our personality. It cannot come. Never can it come. So the next question is, how are we going to come in touch with this? What is the way? Again, I'm repeating. This question was asked by Master Mahashay in the later visits. In the later visits, Master Mahashay comes to Sri Ramakrishna and tells him, asks him the question, okay, hey Thakur, you constantly say that God alone is real, everything else is illusory. You constantly tell that God has to be realized. How to fix our mind on God? How to fix our mind on God? How do we do that? Sri Ramakrishna, all that we find in our scriptures, all our Bhagavad Gita and everything, Sri Ramakrishna sums up it in 5 points. Now see, as the devotees, as spiritual aspirants, these 5 points are very, very important. Sri Ramakrishna is summing up all that our great Shastras have told in simple 5 points. How to fix your mind on God? Number 1, he says, constantly sing the glory of God and repeat His name. Number 1. Constantly sing the glory of God and sing His name or repeat His name. Repeat His name means our mantra japam. This mantra japam. I am sure all of you, most of you might have got initiation. You have got in mantra. This mantra is very powerful. When you constantly go on repeating this mantra will do its job. We have to do it with utmost devotion and shraddha. That's very important. It is not mechanical repetition of mantra, but mantra japam done with extreme devotion. You know, secret is devotion actually. Love. Actually, love is a very enigmatic word. Nobody understands what love is. Now, there's no time to talk about what love is. That's a different thing. We mistake attachment for love. Attachment is not love. Love is a totally different thing. It comes from a different dimension of human personality. So when we have that true kind of a love, bhakti, with that heart, with overflowing emotion of that true love, when you repeat that mantra, it will work like magic. All the negativities will go away. It has to go away, provided we have shraddha on the mantra we have received. It's a very powerful means and the way to realize God. Mantra japam. And singing the glory of God. What we did now. We were singing stotras. Stotras means what? Stuti param. It is all stuti of a divine, a deity. See, we should not be thinking that God is only in this form. Okay, God is in so many forms. We have taken this form as our Ishta. For the followers of Shiva, Shiva is their Ishta. For the followers of Rama, Rama is their Ishta. They are all the forms of same Brahman. This all Hindus should understand. We are all approaching Brahman in and through different forms. All these divine forms are equally efficacious to take you to the Supreme Reality. Sri Ramakrishna is like a small window in and through which you will be entering the portals of Brahman. Shiva is another small window in and through which you will be entering into the portals of Brahman. And so with Rama, Krishna, Kali, Durga, Saraswati, these are all forms of Brahman. So you can hold any one of these forms. Here, as we are the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, so we meditate on Sri Ramakrishna. So we don't have to be fanatic about any one form. All the forms are equally efficacious to take us to that supreme reality, which is called Brahman. That's all. Beautiful. So, different stotras. All these stotras are sung in praise of this divine entity. So Sri Ramakrishna says, see, the question comes, most of the devotees, they ask this question. How to fix the mind on God, Swamiji? So difficult. Mind is so restless. It keeps on jumping here and there. And it's a universal problem. We all know this very well. In fact, when you sit down for meditation, at that time, the mind jumps the most. Otherwise, it's more or less it's okay. When you're active here and there, it seems everything is fine. But when you try to sit quiet for 5 minutes and just see, then what happens? This mind will begin to play havoc. It happens. And all the thoughts, what I did this, I did that, I will do this, all plannings will come more intensely at the time of meditation. Otherwise, it doesn't trouble us so much. But when you sit down to meditate, all the plannings will start. Tomorrow I have to meet this person, tomorrow I have to meet this person, and this person said something to me. How dare he did speak to me? All the leela goes on in the mind at that time. Now, the way to slowly bring this mind under control is this mantra japam done with love and devotion and shraddha. So the question is how to fix this mind on God. Sri Ramakrishna says, sing the glory of God, repeat His name, repeat His mantra. Number 2, he says, at frequent intervals, one should go into solitude. Very important point. These are all very important for those who are serious seekers of truth. At regular intervals, one should withdraw from this market of this world. This world is a marketplace. You just see, look at the noise. It's all hustle, bustle. All the dazzle which we see, it is constantly dragging our awareness outside. And it is dominating our awareness. It is not leaving us, or we are not leaving it. Both ways. We are sticking to it. We are stuck up here. It is pulling us outside. It is ruling us. It is governing us. It is deciding your responses. It is deciding your behavior, everything. We are all captives of what we are seeing here. It will take time for us to understand what is this phenomenon. We are all captives. We are all in captivity. This is what is bandhanam. See, just now we chanted what? Khandana bhava bandhana. We have to come out of this captivity. Unconsciously, we are all here tied down to what we are seeing here through our senses. It is ruling us. It is literally churning us. And this goes on. Today somebody is young, within matter of few years, the youth is gone, the beauty is gone, old age comes, the body is dilapidated, death stands in front of you, the life is gone. What did we achieve with this body? What did we achieve with this body? It was all scattered and scattered and scattered and scattered, and we reached nowhere. I always say, running after the things of the world is just like, falling into a pit which has got no bottom. Running after the things of the world is just like falling into a pit or a well which does not have a bottom. Just imagine, if you are falling into a pit which doesn't have a bottom, you fall and you fall and you fall and you fall and you fall, and it's going on. There is no end to it. On this side of life, it's like that. It is just like falling into a pit which doesn't have a bottom. There is no end to it. It goes on. On this side, there is an end which is waiting for you, waiting for you, waiting for you, waiting for me. The whole thing comes to an end when we go inward. There is one entity, the unchanging reality, which is your reality, which is my reality. It is waiting for our attention. And it is attainable. Everybody can attain it. So, Sri Ramakrishna says, you see, once in a while, we should retire. We should go into solitude. It's very important. Solitude, why? We are withdrawing from this marketplace of this world, and we are peeping inside. What a beautiful thing it is. This meditation, the most beautiful thing that a human being can do is to meditate. There is nothing greater than meditation, actually speaking. Meditation is that state in which we come closer to our own divine nature. Once again, I repeat this point. Meditation is that state in which we come close to that divine entity called God who is residing in our hearts. Meditation, solitude, second point. Third point. Sri Ramakrishna says, one should regularly do sadhu sangha, satsanga. It's very important. Satsanga is very important. Satsanga means what? To be in the company of people who are walking on this path. They might not have reached the goal, but even those serious people who are walking on this path, the company of such people. Why? As I said today morning, we discussed, we are all infectious. We get infected and we also infect others. A sadhu is a person who is walking on this path and he can infect others in that very manner. When we are in the company of such people, we also get infected. Just imagine if I am the company of such a person who has dedicated his life for the attainment of this great goal and who is practicing Viveka and Vairagya, those very virtues enters into me also. It happens unknowingly, unconsciously. This is a priceless gift, a gift which cannot be evaluated in material terms or in any terms. The gift which comes from the company of such people who are living this kind of a life. It cannot be evaluated. It's an amazing thing. Literally amazing. It's a life-transforming thing. Just imagine in the company of such people, our Viveka gets awakened. The Viveka which was sleeping, in the company of such people, our Viveka gets awakened. We also get infused with the spirit of Vairagya and detachment. It happens. Books cannot do it. Mere books cannot do it. It is life which ignites life. So when we are in the company of such sadhus or such people, sadhus need not be only Gervadhari. There are many wonderful householders who are serious seekers of spirituality. When we are in the company of such people, it really transforms our lives. So Sri Ramakrishna says, so third point is what? Sadhu Sangha, Satsanga. Shankaracharya, that famous verse is there. What is that? Satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nishchalatatvam, nishchalatatve jivana mukti. The starting point is satsang, the end is jivana mukti. That is the power of satsang. When we are in the company of right kind of people, it can radically transform our lives. Tremendous thing it is, satsang. What happened to Master Mahashay? The person who was contemplating about committing a suicide, when he came in the presence of Sri Ramakrishna, he was infected in a very powerfully positive manner. A person who was seeing no meaning to life, now he was filled with a new meaning of life. Life is meaningful, it is purposeful, it is meant for a great purpose. This happens when you are in the company of such people who are leading a really meaningful life and purposeful life. And what is the real meaning of life is this? A life which is dedicated to the pursuit of self-realization. Third point. Fourth point. Sri Ramakrishna says, practice Viveka and Vairagya. Very important. Viveka is what? Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. This is what is Viveka. God alone is real. Everything else is illusory. So do not stick to that which is illusory. Handle it intelligently. That which is illusory should be handled very intelligently. Don't stick to anything. I always say in all my classes, the one teaching which everybody should keep it in mind is what? Sticking is strictly prohibited. In Hindi, it's better said, Chipakna mana hai. सिर्फ मना नहीं है, सख्त मना है. चिपकना सख्त मना है. Sticking is strictly prohibited. This should be written in every home. It's the very essence of spiritual life. Why we suffer in life? Only because we stick to all kinds of things. And relationships, how am I related to the other person? This is a very foundational question which everybody has to ask. If it is only genetic kind of a relationship, you're gone. Yes, I am related to you. Am I related to you in a blood relation way, genetic way? I am profoundly related to everybody here. What is that connection? That is the matter of investigation. How am I connected to you? Through the Atman, through the divinity. Everywhere, in everybody, it is the same divinity which is throbbing in me and you, and we are all connected through that. That vision should come. Then you won't be sticking to anything. But if you say, this is my son, my daughter, my husband, my wife, this my, the my is the literal killer. This my word is the literal killer. It kills, it murders. It literally kills the human life. My. Where nothing belongs to me, I say, my, how dare? Tell me what belongs to you. Even your body doesn't belong to you. Do you have any control over the body? You can try to have some control over the body, but no, it has got its own laws and rules, the way it works. It will go in its own way. Death is waiting to snatch it away. Can you stop it? Even this body doesn't belong to us. So, mine, what is mine? Nothing is mine here. Stick to nothing. Everything is illusory. Everything will go away. Viveka and Vairagya. This should be there. Bhaktas, Jnanis, whoever, whichever path, these are the foundational things. And the last beautiful point Sri Ramakrishna says, that is related to attachment only. After stating these 4 points, then Master Mahashay asks, Thakur, all these things are wonderful. So which are the 4 points which we told? First one is to sing the glory of God and repeat God's name. Second is what? Solitude. Go into solitude every now and then to intensify your spiritual mood. Third one is what? Sadhu Sangha, Satsanga. Fourth one is what? Practice Viveka and Vairagya. After listening to these 4 points, Master Mahashay is asking, again, this question always comes from all the people. What is the question? Master Mahashay is saying, but Thakur, we are all householders. Immediately this will come. But Master Mahashay, we are all householders. How are we going to live in our household? You're talking about Viveka and Vairagya and all these things, solitude and all those things. How are we going to live in our household? We are all householders. This is another big hypnosis actually. We are all pure human beings, and every human being is equally capable to realize God. Let us not categorize into this and that. Every human being has got, every man, every woman has got the same capability, only we are not utilizing it. That is the only difference. Some people have utilized it, so they reach there. Others, they are not utilizing it, that's why we don't reach there. That is the only difference. So, Master Mahashay's last question was, we are all householders. How are we going to do this? How are we going to live in the family? Sri Ramakrishna's really brilliant and beautiful answer. He says, you know how you should be living in a family? He says, live like the maid servant working in a rich man's house. It's a beautiful prescription for our disease of attachments. Live like a maid servant working in a rich man's house. This maid servant, she is a servant of that house. That house doesn't belong to her. The people who live in that house, nothing belongs to her. And this maid servant, but she is a very good maid servant. Now see, we have to become good maid servants. That is the point. We have to become good maid servants, good caretakers. Become good caretakers. Don't take the ownership. Don't try to be owners here. We own nothing here. Everything, somebody else is the owner and we say that this is mine. And that is, that is the root of all the problems we have. So be good caretakers, be good maidservants. What does this maidservant do? This maidservant is working in that family. And apparently you will see that that maidservant is taking care, good care of the children in the family. She is so deeply involved with all the children. Oh, my Hari, my Ram, come on, get up in the morning. She wakes them up in the morning. She puts them she gives them good bathing. And they have to be sent to school, so she is feeding them, and every now and then, apparently if you just look at her behavior, it will appear that she is deeply attached to all these children. Actually, she has got not 1 ounce of attachment towards anybody. She very well knows that these children are not mine. My children is somewhere else. Her mind is always somewhere else. Here she is playing a beautiful role of a caretaker. Why? Nothing belongs to us. See, Sri Ramakrishna's prescription is so fantastic. This is how householders, so-called householders, have to live in their family, knowing that nothing belongs to us here. We are just caretakers. As mothers and fathers, we are all just caretakers. Children don't belong to us. Everything belongs to that Almighty, Ma Bhagavati. We are nobodies here. Things will come, things will go. How many have come and how many have gone, disappeared? Just tell me, where have they gone? What is that we are sticking to? Mine, mine, mine. Nothing belongs to us. So Sri Ramakrishna's last prescription is so practical. Live in this world just like a maidservant living in a rich man's house. Do not own anything. Be a perfect caretaker, perfect maidservant. We are all Divine Mother's maidservants here, Divine Mother's caretakers here. Things are given to us just to take care. You do that role perfectly and live it. Don't try to hold anything. The moment you clench your fist, you're gone. Don't try to hold anything. Let your fist always be open. This is how Sri Ramakrishna says you can fix your mind on God. So 5 beautiful teachings from Sri Ramakrishna about how to fix our mind on God. So let us pray to Divine Mother. And may we all have, mainly I always say, yesterday also I had told, our prayer to Divine Mother should be only one. Oh God, give me bhakti, give me jnana, give me viveka, and give me vairagya. I want nothing else. These are the things which alone can make our life truly rich, rich in the truest sense, totally self-satisfied, fulfilled. This anubhuti is waiting to come into everybody's life. The more we go inward, we will discover. I'm using the word discovering. Something is covered, it will be discovered. We shall discover our own Purna nature. We are all Purnam. There is no Apurnata in us. This Apurnata is only owing to ignorance, nothing else. So let us pray to Divine Mother to bless us with bhakti and jnana and viveka and vairagya. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Anityam Asukham. Beautiful question. He is saying, in one way, Bhagavad Gita says that this Jagat is Anityam Asukham. Anityam means it is transient. And it is Asukham means there is no Sukham here. Now, as long as we are ignorant, Ajnana, this is the fact. But when Jnanam comes, you will see everything as Brahman. Then there is no Jagat. Then Brahman alone is existing. For a Brahmajnani, there is, tell me, did not Sri Ramakrishna see the same things, what we are seeing? They also, Sri Ramakrishna, we also visit Dakshineshwar Kali temple, is it not? Sri Ramakrishna also saw the same buildings there. But for Sri Ramakrishna, everything is Divine Mother, everything is Brahman. We will say this is a building, this is this, this is that. For a realized person, nothing else is existing. It is Brahman which is existing. In Ajnana, that which is Brahman, you are referring to that as Jagat. So it is a question of 2 different states. One is the state of ignorance, other is the state of knowledge. When knowledge will come, that person will see everything as Sachidanandam Brahman alone. Ekam evatvitiyam Brahma. Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. Brahman alone is existing. So this is the state of ignorance and knowledge.